Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Success Not the Less. I'm so excited to have another gentleman with us today. He needs no introduction, a business mogul. He owns a very ultra successful talent agency management business serving ultra high profile clients. His clients include Tokyo Stylez, Jay Assassin, Alonzo Arnold, Jstayready, Lace
Jstayready.
Assassin.
Yeah.
Alonzo Arnold, and so much more. And also, I definitely want to highlight your work of working with notable brands such as Super Bowl, Elle Magazine, Vogue Magazine, BeautyCon LA, BET Awards, VMAs. I mean, so much more. Please welcome the business mogul himself, Chris Aaron. How are you?
Thank you, SNL. I am finally in the hot seat. I cannot wait to get started.
Oh
Been
my
with you for
God.
so long. You know, you did one of my first ever interviews ever in life, and we're coming back full circle. So I'm ready.
Yes. So I want to go back because I know people have looked at
Mhm.
your profile and like, oh my gosh, this guy's super successful. Can
Mm.
you walk people from where you started and then and then we'll lead up to now?
Okay. I got my start in DC. I was actually I went to school for law. I was working government contracting like everybody else does in DC, and I met the super talented Tokyo Stylez. And Tokyo had an issue with really trying to start their career. And, you know, I'm already in procurements and stuff in the government. You know, I pretty much put together businesses to go and bid for contracts. So I was like, how hard is this to do? So what I did is I made Tokyo a full business, gave a whole business model, way to follow it. And at the time, she was looking for management. And when I initially started with her, I was like, hey, I can help you look for management. And then essentially, I just kind of became her management. And I didn't know anything about it at the time as far as like glam services or anything like that. You know, I didn't even know how to do hair, what hair even is, how, whatever. So then from there, we just started working really well together. We started becoming a team, and then next thing you know, celebrities were calling. You know, we started off with barely anything to our names, you know, and I was furloughed, so we were really going through it at the time. Kind of had to take a job, you know, working at Don Pablo's on Route One. I don't know if anybody knows anything about DC that's viewing it or whatever, but out there in Alexandria, Virginia, and I don't even think it's there anymore. But yeah, I had to take a job there. Tokyo was working in the hair industry, trying to get clients. We was doing hair in a studio apartment in Alexandria, Virginia, and all of our clients came from Stadium. We was doing they was doing hair at what 3, 4 o'clock in the
Y'all was
morning.
in the trap for real, right?
We was in the trap. We was in the trap. And you know what? We wouldn't change it for the world because, you know, through our success, we stayed very much the same because we know where we come from.
Oh wow. So how did I'm sure you got people coming up to you all the time asking you, can you manage me? Can you manage me? What are you looking for now in clients versus when you first started?
Okay, that's a really good question. Um, nowadays, glam artists, or however you want to call them, they are more than just talented stylists. They are personalities. So I cannot. I get people that come up to me when we travel, we do seminars, stuff like that. I get people that will let me see their whole entire Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and they'll show me very good work. You know, really good work. I'm talking about the laces is placed right, it's secured. You know, the hair is styled almost to perfection, and I can't do nothing with that person because they come off kind of dull, or they come off as a person of not much interest. And I need somebody that can cultivate an audience. So I pick very big personalities. And if you go down my client list, every single one of them has a very bold and big in your face kind of personality. And so nowadays, that's what I have to have because of the age of social media. It's really the tool that is going to be around for a long, long, long time. But now people see who's doing the hair. Now people see who's doing the makeup. Now people see who is styling the clothes. Back in the day, I know you remember the movie Bats, or those crazy hairstyles and everything else. And you always be like, it's dope or whatever. But you never thought about the hairstylist, which by the way was Kim Kimble, the great Kim Kimble. But it's just a thing where it's like now people research this. Sometimes the hair artist or the makeup artist or the wardrobe stylist becomes just as big as the artist. So we have to prepare for that. And that's why I look for very much personality on top of talent now. Also another thing is I am not open to actually taking clients. I reach out to the clients. I actually handpick my clients.
Okay, you took one of my questions because I was going to. I know your inbox is flooded,
Dang.
And I know some people are probably like, "Well, why you choose to go that route?"
Well, I didn't go that route at first, but as a lot of people know, well, a lot of people might not know. People might not know me that are watching this. I'm pretty busy. I'm currently right now we're doing Met Gala, which is next week. We just finished up Coachella weekend 1 and 2. We just had Grammys not too long ago. We're preparing for Billboard Awards. And in between just this 3-week span of just major events, you telling me that I have to also intake and onboard a whole bunch of clientele that just when they see a Tokyo or they see a Alonzo or they see a Jstayready, a lot of people say, I want to be like them. And that is the total wrong mindset to have, because you are not to be of someone, but to be yourself and to make yourself as big as possible. So I honestly, as much as I love my glam community, I have to be very selective now of the clientele because another thing, me being so busy, I can't start right from the bottom anymore because that takes a lot of time, energy, and work that right now it might get lost with on me because I'm not a huge agency. I'm very much boutique. It's very much me and maybe 2 other people that I enlist to help me from time to time. So I don't have the bandwidth of those larger agencies like the Only Agency or the bigger agencies where they have staff and they have this and that or whatever to take the time for a lot of these artists. So I don't want to, how would I say this? I don't want to shortchange anybody. And I'm very upfront with them of what I'm capable of doing, my connections, and where I can get you. And another thing is not everybody works well with everybody. I could be the best in the world or whatever, and I just might not have a connection with you. So it's a thing where I have to watch people for a while and I have to kind of gain a sense of who they are. And then eventually we do some little things here and there. And if I feel that we can maintain a great work relationship, I decide to extend an offer to offer my services to them.
Wow, I do want to bring up something. I think we've known each other about like 7 years now or 8, something around
Easy,
that time.
easy.
And I don't know if you noticed, but when I first met you,
Mhm.
and I mean this, I heard, I'm not going to repeat who it was, but there were whispers about you. And I know at the time, Tokyo that wasn't like doing Beyonce, Cash Doll, all these notable Cardi B. Tokyo wasn't up there just yet.
Yeah.
And I remember a few people had made whispers saying, what are they doing? And nobody's going to take them serious. And I mean, just your work ethic. I mean, it's different when, when you see you're very down to earth. But I mean, when you start speaking those words, you are on point, you're closing deals.
Yeah.
And I saw it 8 years ago.
Thank you.
And I said to these people, I said, just because they're there right now doesn't mean that they're going to be there years from now. And just to see how you guys have blossomed, I mean, I didn't expect anything less. And in Tokyo, when I first interviewed her, I'm thinking she's gonna be loud and all.
Yeah.
It's very quiet.
Quiet. Yes. Very quiet and shy.
Me totally off guard.
Yes.
I was like, who
Yes.
is this?
To this day, I keep saying like, hey, a little, press, a little, couple little things here and there, a couple little classes wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
She's her. You know what I'm saying? It's weird because she's bold when she needs to be, but then she can. It's a I just for example, my client list. It's like I have the Tokyo, then I have a Jstayready, which is like I never have to worry about an interview. Aces it right off the bat, and I used to manage Anthony Cutts. Anthony Cutts crazy with just like the amount of
Now
personality.
he's not shy. You know, I interviewed him.
Yes, I
He's
know.
not. He's definitely not shy.
I know he's not. I know he's not. And sometimes it's like it almost goes the other way where I'm like, okay, you're talking too much. All right, you need to come on media training is just, it can work for everybody. Let's just say that. But it's funny that you say that. And we actually never really talk about that. And now I kind of wish Tokyo would have joined in to talk about this specific thing. But a lot of people didn't take us serious. A lot of people didn't take us serious. They thought that we were a joke. And honestly, not going to say I'm the blueprint or whatever. There was obviously agencies before me, but nobody really was like a hands-on manager at the time like I was. So they were kind of like, "Oh, you brought your manager? You brought," and people in Tokyo's like, "Yeah, yeah." He literally goes everywhere with me because he is able to say and do things that I cannot. And when you throw a lot of stuff at me, I'm an artist, and I like for him to handle that side of the business. And so we took a lot of heat for it at first, but people started to kind of get with the program a little bit. They started to understand to the point they started to mimic our business model. So now, if you notice, a lot of these, even when they're not ready, a lot of these stylists and stuff now have managers. And you're like, okay. It's to the point sometimes I get annoyed because they'll be like a new guy. And I'm like, hey, can I get you to do this huge artist hair? I need you to be a stand in. They're like, yeah, talk to my manager. I'm like, oh, bro, okay. All
You
right.
one of those, right?
Oh God! Like you got a manager too? You're an assistant at best. Like okay, whatever. But yeah, I really appreciate you bringing that up, and a lot of people don't talk about that aspect. And we got hated on by a lot of our peers in the industry as well, not just critics alone, but our peers and some really big people. And we were really excited to meet and just finding out the closed door conversations that they were having about us. It kind of hurt us, but it motivated us because we were determined to be as big and as dope as possible as we ever could be. And years later, we've had TV shows, we have endorsement deals, we've worked with the biggest brands in the world. We rub shoulders with a lot of different celebrities now. They know my name, I know theirs. It's like we came a long way. We came a long way from that first interview that you. But you know what? At the end of the day, oh well.
Yeah.
We were our authentic selves, and we might have been a little rough around the edges, but we made it through.
I have to. So, how did you, considering, you started with Tokyo Stylez, now you have these other three brands as well.
Mhm.
Um, how did that happen? Did you approach them as well, or did you connect with them? Like, and what made you? What did you see in each one of them to say, you know what, I want to work with you, and I can take your brand to the next level?
Well, me and Alonzo right now, we're kind of just touch and go. I just provide deals as they come along. I don't manage the day to day as much anymore. But when I was doing that, um, Alonzo was new, and I saw the potential. And I saw the potential in Tokyo. I saw the potential in Anthony Cutts. Anthony Cutts actually applied to work in a shop that me and Tokyo were planning on bringing together in Georgetown. And Anthony Cutts actually applied to work at that salon. And I noticed him and his cutting, and we offered him to assist on a few things. And then seeing him in person, I was like, he's special. So years and years later, we don't actually manage the. I don't manage this day to day anymore as well, but we're still great friends. You know, you can still pick up the phone if you need me, if you want me to push a deal through for you, anything, I got you. Same with Alonzo. I saw the potential, and Alonzo was very fresh and very shy. Didn't talk to many people or whatever, but Alonzo was one of Tokyo's friends, and we got to spend more like personal time, and just talking to Alonzo was what helped me to realize his talent, and then we went from there. Um, with Jay, Jay is a very interesting character. Jay works hard. There was nothing that Jay would not do. And that's what I loved about Jay, is that I could call him at 3 a.m. and be like, hey, Tokyo's not able to do such and such. Can you just come and do something really simple? I'll be there in 15 minutes. He never said no. And so I started to understand him a little bit. And we used to do, never mind, I won't say that. But we used to do some not so high end celebrities. We were doing very much the C list, D list, all that kind of stuff. I won't mention names because I don't want to disrespect any of them. But basically, we were in the basement, for a long time. And believe it or not, someone had canceled on Doja Cat during the Say So video. Now, we had me and Tokyo were actually in the camp already doing a few things for Doja Cat, but Tokyo wasn't available. And Tokyo wasn't, Tokyo's with Cardi, Kylie, all those people. She just really didn't have time. And Brett, who is Doja Cat's stylist, we actually worked with Brett with Nicki Minaj. So we all kind of had this like connection, and they kind of asked me, they're like, Chris, we kind of trust you. We need a hair person. Anybody could do, but this is a video. It's potentially big. And, we think it's big. They believed in Doja when nobody else was believing in Doja. And so I was like, I got a guy, and he's actually really good. He's a really good worker. They thought I was bringing Tokyo's assistant or something. And then Jay actually, he worked the set. He worked it well, as he always does. And I knew he would. And from there, yeah, Lydia, Doja's manager, called me. He's like, he's great. We're actually doing the song with Azuna and a few other things. We want to kind of keep Jay around. And then Jay called me, and he was like, Chris, he's like, I've been in this game for a little bit now, and I'm tired, and I'm working with a lot of different celebrities. I'm tired, and I want to make like Doja my muse. Like, I want Doja to be the one. I really believe in her. I was like, okay. So I had a call with Lydia, and we kind of talked some stuff out, and the rest is history. Say So went number one, and we haven't looked back since. And it just, Doja is killing it right now, and it's to the point we don't have no time. Then get ready for that tour that's coming up real soon with the weekend. But other than that, this is how I kind of pick them. It's like it just kind of like they kind of evolve into my life. They kind of intertwine
Mhm.
into my life. Lace Assassin is another one where we basically people took a chance on Lace. I knew Lace because another hard worker, kind of assistant vibes or whatever. And then we met Lotto, and I already knew Lotto's team from RCA. They were trying to get people to do her hair, and she didn't have no real consistent hair person. And I was like, hey, let's give Lace Assassin a try, And at the time, I didn't really manage Lace Assassin. I just kind of threw her a bone, and he killed it. Now we're off to the races with a lot of big energy. Everything's going up, and the album is great. And they just got off tour. We just finished that tour, and Lace is killing it, and now in demand and stuff like that. So I won't say I'm lucky, but a little bit of luck kind of played it. It kind of
You
played.
sure know how to pick them, don't you?
I guess so. I guess so.
Yeah, your instinct and your gut has to be on point. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think that's something that can be I think a little bit
Well,
can be taught, but some of it comes with wisdom and being experienced and just knowing who you vibe with, and
well,
not just taking people because of the money.
the good thing is, and I'll go back just a little bit of what you said before is, people obviously, I gained a reputation of trust. And that's dealing with Tokyo because people didn't know what we were doing. And I basically had to do a lot of stuff on credit, like just trust me, and we prevailed. And in this industry, you only get one chance. And we knocked it out of the park a few times to the point I had a reputation. I still have a reputation of I do what needs to be done and I get it done regardless of the circumstances. So when these bigger companies now they call me, they feel like they don't have anything to worry about. So I'm able to now put a lot of people in positions of where they want to be because I can call up people, tell them I have a person, they won't ask me any questions. So
So how did you, and I know I got a couple of questions from the audience. Someone asked, how did you navigate from, I guess, doing free things and now charging? Like at what point did you have to start charging what you're worth, basically?
yeah, yeah, that's a very slippery slope. I will say this because sometimes I'll still do some stuff for free. It all depends. But when we first started, we paid out of pocket. We paid out of pocket for everything. We paid out of pocket for travel. Going back, I'm not sure if this is worth mentioning, but we did a lot of work with Lil Kim, and we wanted Lil Kim bad. So we would fly ourselves out if we had to. We pay for our own hotels, and the pay was good, but it wasn't as good enough to cover our stay, flights, car service, supplies. Then on top of that, you want to get paid a little extra to just kind of live. You really,
Right.
you spent all that or whatever. But it was just because we were hungry. But once we start to see the influx and people starting to really kind of gain all your time, and you're tired now. You're tired at this point because you did a lot of stuff for free. Everybody's calling you, from big to small celebrities or whatever, because they heard free and it's good. I
Right.
don't care. Beyonce would have been like, "Oh, come on," you know what I'm saying? So it's like a point where it's like now we're getting to the point where we're just tired. We would literally throw our bags down. I had a townhouse in Alexandria. We would literally throw bags down there, whatever, get pack new bags, and then we're on another flight. You know what I'm saying? And it was just a thing where it got to be a lot. So we have to start weeding things out. And that's what happens. We have to start going from quantity to quality. And that's what we did. But it took us a couple years. It took us a couple years to where we started saying, no, now this is our worth. And we calculated our time versus how much money will we make a month sitting at home for that entire month. How much money? Then we started to divide it up in days, to hours, to now we have a general consensus of how much it would cost for people to do business with us. Because if you're going to take us away from our home, now you need to pay these rates. But not only these rates, but you have to cover travel, you have to cover certain per diem, you have to cover, what I'm saying,
Come on,
lodging.
per diem. I was just about to say that. I knew that contracted language was about to come in, come into
You know, I've been doing this a long time.
right.
Yeah, so yeah, but that's how we started off. And I would advise everybody, if you really love this and you really in this for the heart, don't chase the money, chase the dream. The money will follow. We come from nothing. Myself, Tokyo, a few of us, we all come from nothing. And you know, we obviously want the money, but we saw bigger things, because this was a avenue to take us away from, our humble beginnings and put us in a different, because hair or glam has enabled me to see the world, something that wasn't possible where I come from, So we wanted that dream more than anything. And then the money started to flow and we wasn't mad at it.
Now, I do want to bring up now dealing with these stars. I remember a long time ago, and I think you said it on. I think think one of you guys said it on the interview, the first interview we did. And I think it was something along the fact that you don't choose sides as far as celebrities involved. You don't get in the middle. Can you talk about making that truth from the beginning and sticking with that? Because a lot of times we see people choosing sides and then that celebrity's not hot no more. And then
Scary.
yeah.
It's scary, actually. A lot of these new people too. I see how they kind of move now. It's like, ooh, it's a little. They're doing a lot. These new guys are bold, you know what I'm saying? Because they had talked a little bit. Um, us, no, we just wanted to do good business, you know. And one thing you realize about celebrities, and I know it sounds so cliche, but they really are people. You know, they're humans, and sometimes we got to respect that fact of their privacy. And we understood that, and so we've seen a lot things that to this day we cannot repeat. But I wouldn't want to, because honestly, when I go home, I'm home. You know, I'm not thinking about these celebrities anymore. Honestly, I love working with, you know, Cardi, and I love working with Doja, and I love working with all these great celebrities, past and present, that we've all done in life and whatever. And their secret is safe with me, because when I come home, I have a new nephew here in the house. You know, I got different things going on in my life, you know, in my family. They're great here. You know, they're my rock and all that kind of stuff. When I come home, I'm Chris, do the dishes, this and that, or whatever. I ain't got time for the gossip. You know, I gotta cut the grass. So, you know, it's like, why? You know, why is that a thing where it's like we have to discuss these things? You don't want them to discuss it about you. And I know it's a hot topic because they're celebrities, but sometimes we just got to stay out of people's business. And we got to be grown folks about things. And this is a business. One thing I will tell you this: if you ask any of my clients, ask them how many shows I've been to, how many concerts, how many award shows, and all that. I actually stay away, because there's a part of me that wants my clientele to know that we are not friends like that. And once you start to do these little things and you start to benefit from all this stuff, they start to treat you different. And you get kind of sucked into that life of where you start to not know your position and your roles. And I like to make them very clear. So, you know, Lotto was just here in Fort Lauderdale. I wasn't able to make it. I would have loved to see the team, you know, and we do stuff outside of the celebrity. But it's a thing where it's like when you act like a friend, you get treated like a friend. And I'm about my money. I want my money.
So what are some of the pros and cons as far as managing someone that's close to you?
Well, I'll tell you this. Me and Tokyo have known each other for 15 years. It's going on 15 years. And when I say that is the most hard-headed person I've ever met in my entire life, I swear to God, I think she wakes up to make my life difficult. Why? Because she knows I'm not going anywhere. So she can just throw me through the ringer and all this. But I'm like, if you went to any other agency, I guarantee you they're not going to put up with this stuff. Like I'm sitting here making sure she pays her rent on time and, like, you know, managing certain things. That's the cons, I guess. But I don't know if they're cons or not to certain people. But these are the things of when you're dealing with somebody that you're truly close to, you start to you're there's no real fine line there, you know, so you kind of cross lines a little bit. But you know, it all depends on your relationship with that person, how close you are. But me and Tokyo are super close. You know, we'll go from 1 minute talking about hair for a new music video to like, okay, she has a new boyfriend, okay, she wants a counselor, we got to talk about that, you know, stuff like that. So it's okay. And I think that honestly, those are the people you trust the most. So why not go through it with them, you know? Because Tokyo knows at the end of the day, I have her best interests at heart. And when I go to negotiate these deals and everything else, I'm negotiating them at the best of my ability. And she knows I'm going to get the most money out of it, depending on that, you know, client, that sponsor, that whatever. So with that being said, she doesn't have to worry as much. So I don't think that it's a bad thing at all to, get somebody that you're close to manage. I know a lot of people probably wouldn't say that, and don't bring in your family, don't bring in all that, but we've had a lot of success, and we're two of the closest people ever. I go to, her brother is a D1 basketball player for Gonzaga, and I go to his games. I fly into Seattle just to go to his games because that's still like, that's my little brother, and his mom and her mom and everybody else. They are family. We're all family. So why would I hurt somebody that, we truly love?
Now I know we talked about this, and it's been true as far as how do you deal with being Black in this industry? You got Black clients,
Mm-hmm.
and the notion of unequal pay and closing these deals where you still gotta fight. You know what I'm saying? Even though you're like, okay, I've done this work, like how do you balance that and keep showing the table and really, showing that they can work just as hard as anybody who's white, who's Asian, who's Filipino? Can we talk about that for a second?
Well, first off, we are the industry. We are we're the, how would you say it? We are the standard. Anything that we do is mimicked. So, with that being said, the unequal pay is unfair. And I say this with a seriousness because what you're talking about now is something that I do battle every day. I won't mention the events, but there's certain white stylists that are making 2 to 3K more on endorsement deals than us. And it's all because they have the power to kind of scrutinize us just a little bit more because of our skin color. And I think that if we unite better, we can see better results. But what is happening is we are separating instead of coming together. And that's what's hurting us the most. We are actually hurting ourselves because we are not as united. We need to unionize. We need to do a lot more things that, quite frankly, I don't see in the industry. And I don't know when I might see it. And I try to get a lot of my people's, my clients, we stick together. We stick together. We're all a family and we stick together. So, if you're going to pay my one client, you're going to pay my other client. Trust me, we're not playing that. But I can only do but so much. There's a lot of us out there. There's a lot of us doing great work. And I applaud all of the minority stylists out there that are just getting it right now. But we need to have a serious conversation about that. It's overdue. And it's time. It's time. But the disparity is real and it's really out there. Don't let anybody kid you and think that it's not. We're not getting paid like we should be.
Okay. So how do you say no? When certain boundaries are being crossed or you feel like there's too much,
No,
how do you say no?
no, easy, easy.
But everybody can't say no. So how do
Yes,
you,
you
you
can.
always, okay.
Yes, you can. You can say no. You can say no because guess what? That client is going to come back. That person, that business or whatever, they're going to come back because as long as you keep doing you and you keep doing, you stay as on a high level. Say no because maybe we'll start getting paid more. Because maybe when we start leaving money on the table, that's when people start to realize that we are serious. Say no. I think that's one of my favorite words. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. I just got an offer. I got an offer the other day. They asked them for a do and go rate $250. Now, like I said earlier, I come from the ghetto. I came from the hood, all that kind of stuff, whatever. I can't do nothing with $250 now. I'm sorry. I can barely eat at Del Frisco's for that. I'm just playing. But I'm just saying, no, but I'm serious though. Like that's not pay. That's not pay. By the time you see these gas prices out here right now, I'm gonna
Right.
spend $250 getting to you. So it's like, I just think that right now, I think people should change their mentality of saying no is a bad thing and that they're going to kill themselves. I can't do it. I can't do it for that. I can't do it for this. And I refuse. And if they don't work with you, somebody will. Somebody is going to see your worth and pay your price.
So, what is a day in the life of Chris as a manager on these businesses? What does that look like? And do you write everything that you're going to do, like your vision? Do you actually write it out, or you just going day to day, whatever comes?
Everything is in my mind. I don't write nothing down. That's why I have an assistant that does. But because I do forget, I'm 35 now, so it's like that thing kind of. It used to be a steel trap, but now it's kind of like the window has opened up at some point, and some stuff kind of flies out. But I really should get into the vision board thing. My brother, sister.
It doesn't have to be vision board, but like, do you have do you write down like I have? Okay, I'm not trying to talk about business, but I have like Word documents. I do numbers for a living all the time, so I have Word documents of where I'm going to be 3 to 5 years from now.
I have no expectations.
And I have a calendar, phone, and then a physical calendar that I keep track.
How is that working out for you?
It's been working out well.
So a lot of the stuff that you've written down has come to fruition?
Yes, it has.
That's good. I've literally been on the wildest ride for the last 10 years. I have no vision of, I'm going to do this or do that. I kind of like seen that early, that I knew I was destined for something different. And I just kind of like, I just go. And it's so weird that you asked this question, because I posted this on my Instagram about 2 days ago, where I was like, I really don't have a clear-cut plan of what the hell I'm doing. I'm really just kind of winging it, in a way. And I know that sounds terrible as my mom is walking through the front door. Hi, Mom. How was work? Okay, wonderful. No, you're good. You're good. Quiet on set, please. No, I'm sorry. So what I'm saying though is honestly, I just take every day as it goes, and I just say to myself, do good work and don't F it up. That's it. That's it. Just try not to F it up. That's it. Because honestly, I started making a lot of plans. And what is that quote?
If you fail to plan, be plan to fail. Something like that. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, something like that or whatever. It ain't work for me. I mean, honestly,
but everyone's different. That's why I was asking you, what's your method? Like everyone's different.
I just know because it sounds bad and it's not so inspirational to people, but it's like, I don't know what the viewers are probably thinking about me right now. They're like, whoa, I've never heard that before. But it's true. It's true. I have not put a big vision board together or, put together a lot of journal notes and everything else or whatever. I really just go out and I do work. I work hard. I literally decided I wanted to do Airbnbs one day. I had them up the next. Literally. Like, just because I was like, I want a side hustle. I just thought about it. And then I was like, okay, I got these people that could manage it for me and do this and that, and I'll just collect money. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't see myself in 3 years prior. I was going to have Airbnbs. I do now.
Yeah.
I got a couple of them, it's like, and they make a great profit. So it's like, throw caution to the wind sometimes. Live a little, have fun, and just do you and be unapologetic. That's my advice. I'm sorry. You're going to never have me on the show again.
Oh, God. No, that's not true. I wasn't expecting you, because you come off, and I know you are very sharp. So I'm thinking you got some master plan going up in your head that's crazy. I'm expecting.
I used to.
Okay.
I used to be so systematic. And then Tokyo Stylez actually taught me to let go sometimes and just to be free. And I started doing that, and I've actually seen more success being that way than when I was so systematic and trying to piece these things together and not thinking, oh, I didn't make my timeline, my goals, this and that or whatever. I don't have no goals, so I'm not ever disappointed. I'm I'm never disappointed.
Oh
So,
man. So what separates your agency from others?
man, one thing I can say about my agency, and I've been talked about by some of the biggest ones. I've been mentioned in some very big rooms because of how I'm able to always be in those rooms. Um, the fact is, I am so hands-on with my clients that we feel like family. When you are on this ride with me, we are in it together. The whole entire team knows. They literally, when Jay gets on set, they like, we talked to Chris. He told us everything. How can we help you? Because Chris don't play. And let me tell you this. I live in Orlando, Florida, right?
Mm-hmm.
Love it out here. I live in Orlando, Florida. I come back home to DC quite a bit, but I live in Orlando and I work in LA essentially, all that kind of stuff. If I have to get on a plane to go to LA, somebody messed up. You don't want me to be right there, but I will. I'll pull up, and it's the thing where that's what my agency is about. You are not going to get over on my clients. You're not going to play with my clients. And if I have to be there, you rather wanted to deal with my clients. You know what I'm saying? I'm strong. Sometimes I push my clients very hard. That's another thing I know they probably do not like, and they'll tell you, but we're a partnership. And when we go into this partnership, I have certain things and expectations for my clients that need to be met. And they have to be ready to do the certain things that I ask of them, and it's not saying I'm their boss or they're my boss. But if we're going into this partnership, like Kobe and Shaq, Kobe expected Shaq to come out there and at least perform and give me 25
Right,
and I'll get
right.
you 30. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's what we do at my agency. And I set the ball up, they dunk it, So that's what's the difference. A lot of people don't get those personal relationships. You definitely do with mine. You come over
And
for the
people get their money stolen.
oh, yeah, yeah. That goes without saying. But if you're upfront with people and they
Yeah.
know exactly where their money is going and how they're coming, first of all, any conversations I have with vendors and stuff, a lot of these conversations I have in text messages, so they have paper trails. Because I practice CYA a lot. But I also do a lot of group texts. My phone is like burnt the hell up because all it is just one group text after another group text after another group text. And what happens is I want my clients to be as most informed as they can be. When they ask about money, they should be able to look at the phone and then they'll see right there, boom, okay,
Mm.
this is what we're making for this deal because Chris already put it in. Yeah, and then all they need to ask me sometimes, most of the time, is, hey, did you get that contract in? Because I saw the numbers, I saw the detail. Did the contract go through? Yeah, it's signed, it's up, and then we got a net 30, you get paid in 30 days. Boom. It's simple, and when my clients are signing their own checks, they don't have any worries. We don't have no worries about no money being missing or something like that. Now, if they want to give me a little bonus, sure, you know what I'm saying? These Audemars are expensive. No, I have no Audemars, by the way. I am not rich. I am not rich.
You do have a car fetish like me. That's
I
what we
do.
do have in common.
Uh, mind you, I got burnt on a car deal, but we'll talk about that offline.
Oh God,
Yeah,
no.
and I'm hurt. I'm hurt because I wanted that car so bad, and it was a very much a pull up, pop out.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah.
So I have to, okay, so we'll ask a couple questions before we wrap up. How does someone know if their manager is charging too much?
Um, if their manager is charging too much, I don't know how to answer that question. The only reason why is because of the fact of like you got to know your worth. You know what I'm saying? If you feel like your manager is charging something and you're kind of, how would I answer that question? The only reason why I would say if they're charging too much is if the results come back and they're not making you enough money to pay them easily. You know,
Mm,
because I know managers that could charge you $10,000 if that's what they charge and that's what they charging, but they better be making you 30
right,
every month if you paying them 10, you know what
right.
I'm saying, or something, you know. So I think when it becomes a point of like it's a little hard, it's kind of a hassle, you know, then yeah.
Mm,
That's where I would draw the line for a lot of clientele. Get somebody that makes you feel comfortable and you feel like you're making money to where you paying them, it doesn't even, you don't feel it.
okay. And
But
do you have?
I can't tell you a standard of this is charging too much or that's charging too much because everybody has a different price. Everybody, some people work off of retainers. I don't work off of retainers. The only way I make money is if you make money. That's how I.
Now, why do you do that?
Well, I started off like that with Tokyo, but I just kept that business model, you know, because it makes me work hard. It makes me work hard because when you get a retainer, you kind of get a little lazy because you know you got that money coming in every month. You just kind of like, okay, yeah, we might get to this or might get. No, I got to get to it. I have to
Mm,
get to it every single time. So I have built a business model with my clients that I don't cost you money. I make you money, and I get my 20%. Simple. Now, if I was more so of like a PR person or something like that, I would see how I, you know, charging a retainer could, you know, that could happen. You know what I'm saying? But because press is a lot different than like management, you know, and all that kind of stuff. But with management, I knock them deals down. You better do it because that's how we get paid. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it goes back to there's certain things I'm gonna need you to do because I gotta pay my rent. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I ride with these people and they ride with me.
mm. So you're also a producer. So how is it producing Queen of Styles? And do you have any other projects you plan on producing?
Well, we're still looking for a season two. So if anybody out there at Snapchat is watching, where's that deal? Second of all, yes, I actually loved producing Queen of Styles. That was an amazing experience, my first producer credit ever. And I really love that side to where I've actually, um, believe it or not, I've actually put in a couple other scripts, a couple other slides for some new shows that I've been thinking of doing that have development deals. Um, we'll see how far it goes and who wants to pick it up. I heard Netflix might be struggling here soon, so
I'm
maybe
about
they
to cut
won't pick
mine off. So now let me stop.
everybody cutting it off. Don't cut it off in my show call. You need to subscribe back. But anyways, no, Queen of Styles was amazing, and it got to really show me what I'm capable of because I thought I was, you know, this and that, but that really was a lot. It was a lot, and waking up every day and rewriting shows, you know, every morning because it might not have went a certain way last
Mm,
production day. So it's like this production day, we got to pick it up. The script was a little weak. We got to juice it up. We got to do this. We got to do that. We got to actually get the talent, i.e., Tokyo, on set on time, stuff like that. You know, it's like it was a lot, but it was rewarding. It was rewarding, and then on top of that, we didn't understand one thing about being in this industry and being in it for so long. You don't really know your worth or your star power or whatever because you're living in it, you know. But with me, we got to really see just how much people ride for us because if you watch Queen of Styles, you'll see the star power that was on the show. And that was off all the strength of they really like us and want to work with us. Some people we've known for years. A lot of people don't know this, but we've known Paris Hilton for a long time. And we're actually friends. We were in Dubai together like a couple years ago. You know, it's like, but people don't know those sides. They don't get to see that sides. But she loves Tokyo and stuff like that. And when you ask her to do shows, yeah, no problem. You know, not a problem at all. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And it was good to see that. a lot of our friends came. Cardi was great, you know. Cardi, and she real live was like, you know, farting on set. Like it's crazy. It's just crazy. The stuff that happened every day on that set. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
So, what is your advice for people that want to have their own talent and talent agency management business, producing, and then also your advice for making the proper transition? A lot of people want to jump ship, you know, from quitting their job, and you know they jump in entrepreneurship, and it's very, very difficult. To you know, because you see social media, everybody thinks glamorous, but a lot of people aren't making money on these platforms. I want to be clear
Mm-hmm.
about that. So
Mm-hmm.
can you talk about the transition, and when did you feel like, okay, I can actually step away from my 9 to 5?
That was a hard decision. That was super hard because, you know, working in the government, you're getting paid good, you know, but you don't know what good pay is until you're out on your own, and, you know, you really start to see this money, real money, come through. You know, working for 60, $70,000, you know, is great, but when you're making that a month, it's even better. So what happens is, and they can check the records, you know, that's it's plain and see, it's public record. You know, we making that a month,
You may,
but
I hope the IRS know that too. Look,
mhm,
this time.
just saying. But no, what I will say though is it is a leap of faith, and I don't know who's watching this programming right now, but if you have the opportunity to go in and do something that you love, that is all for you, 100% for you, do it. But you will never be successful if you have one foot in the door and one foot out. You really have to take that leap of faith and take both feet in. And you need it to be the only thing that you're doing, because if it fails, you fail. And you don't want things to fail. So you're going to put your all into it. But you won't put your all into it if you're still working your 9 to 5 and trying to dibble dally on the side with it and all that kind of stuff. It just won't happen, because just like a baby needs their mother full time, you know, in order to develop and to grow. Your business or your business plan, your business model, that thing needs you. It needs you, and it needs all of you. And that's what I had to learn with my 9 to 5. And it was hard. And I remember I was at the Lowe's Hotel on off of Highland in LA. We were just traveling to do the Kardashians. And I was still working for the government. And I had my laptop with me. I was logging in. I was I can say that now because I've been
Right,
far removed from the
right,
government. But
right, right.
yeah, but it's like I was logging in. I was like, yeah, oh yeah, I'm working, sir. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm at home. I'm at home. No, I was all the way on the other side of the country and all that. And I remember my what was he? He was the business development coordinator for my company, and he called me, and we had a awkward conversation, and I just randomly told him, I was like, I'm not going to return to work. And I was like, I'm actually in LA, and I'm actually hanging out with the Kardashians. And he was like, wait, what? Like, what? But it was like in my head, I just had this realization like, no, I'm about to make this my all. And this is when I want to do it. I felt like it was that time. And at the time, they were making cuts to because we didn't win a contract. So, you know, when contracts get cut or they're gone,
Yeah,
a lot of
contractors get cut.
personnel start going. So I kind of felt like I seen the writing on the wall a little bit. But they said my job was safe. I don't trust them for nothing, but they said my job was safe. I was like, okay, all right, cool. But I don't want it to be safe. I was
Mm.
like, I really need something to motivate me to leave this job. And that's it, you know, because the quality of life at that workplace was going to be terrible anyways. I'd have been one of 3 people left, you know. It's like, no, I wasn't wanting to do that. So I was like, no, I think this is a good time for us all to just separate. And I want to do this full time. And I went back into the room. You know, Tokyo was doing Jordan Woods' hair at that moment. And I walked in the room and I told Jordan, I told Miss Elizabeth, her mom, and Tokyo was doing her hair. And I was like, I quit my job. And they were like, That's always everybody's reaction. Instead of being like, "Oh my God, what are you going to do?" They're
Right,
like, "Good for
right.
you." They're like, "No, I don't know. I'm about to make my next paycheck now." But it worked out. It worked out for the better. But people won't know unless they try.
Yeah. Okay. Last two questions. So let's talk about your circle of friends.
Hmm.
And how important it is to have people that's inspiring you, that's actually doing something, and not people telling you, Chris, you can't do that, you can't close that deal, you can't. Can you speak about that? Because I think people still have people around them that don't want to win. And I think that's a lot of times why people can't get to the next level.
I wouldn't know that because I only have 4 friends. I have 4 close friends, and I think you know about 3 of them. So, you know, I have a very small, tight circle, and we all motivate each other. We all motivate each other, and we all kind of come from the same background, same place, same area, and it's just a thing where it's like we want to see each other win. I have no doubt. Like my friend Shannon out there, Mimi, a few others out there in DC and around the globe, I guess. But I I personally have some really genuine people around me, and they push me every day because if I'm driving a Benz, they got a Benz next week. And then it's like if I got this or that going on, they doing this and they doing that. My friend Louie out there, he was on his last leg or whatever. Now he's just thriving. And it's like, I'm rooting him on, I'm rooting him on from over here, and I want him to be even better to the point now he pushing me. It's like, oh, okay, I see you, okay, all right. Now it's like, okay, it's on. But it's friendly competition between us. But I love it, and I love them, and they push me. And honestly, you're gonna have haters. You're gonna have haters, and you're gonna have people that are hating on you that don't even know they're hating on you. But as long as you keep that tight circle, you're gonna win. You're gonna win every single time. And I feel like there's a lot of people. I was just telling someone last night that they do stuff and they motivate me without even knowing it,
Mm.
and sometimes I do for them, or I like to do certain things for these people, and they're like, Chris, you don't have to do it. Like, I want to because I'm not the person I am without you being there by my side. So it's just a thing where it's like, yeah, I appreciate the people, especially like my mom. My mom is my rock, my father is my rock. They motivate me, and even if they don't know what the hell is going on with me half the time, they still motivate me like,
Right.
hey, baby, do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, mom, you have no clue what I'm talking about, but cool. And she's like, but it sounds good, She's like, yeah, that Doja Cat or something. Like, that. But they love me regardless, and I love them. So yeah.
So what do you have coming up next? What can people expect from you, and where can they find and connect with you at?
Really, I'm trying to get into TV more. I hit on that a little earlier, but I have some TV shows that I pitched. I'm really hoping that they drop. Other than that, um, I thought I was stepping away from management, but this kind of job that kind of keeps sucking you back in because now it's like I start getting motivated. I see some new clientele. I'm like, oh, okay, I might want to jump in bed with you, stuff like that. So Chris Aaron Management is alive and well, and it's going to keep going and for the foreseeable future. I don't have a 5-year plan like Kat, but I'm hoping that.
I'm gonna say, so you gonna start? Are you starting to recruit, or you start grooming people?
Yeah, I would love that. Actually, I would love to expand.
Okay.
I think it's about that time to expand. I'll keep you updated on that as we grow because maybe I can get a couple agents up under me that can take on some projects that are maybe lower to the ground, and maybe we can get some people up, especially in my community. I would love that.
Okay. Okay.
So anybody that's watching, if y'all want to, y'all want to get some lessons on, in management or whatever, hit me. Maybe we can work something out. I might have a class coming soon, and some of the pupils, we might work something out. Maybe come on to Chris Aaron Management, and become a partner or something. I don't know. Kat, I told you I ain't got a plan, but That one sounded
already
good just
started.
now.
You gonna start grooming people?
Yeah, that one sounded real good coming out of my mouth just now. So now I'm gonna go. I'm gonna tell my assistant to write it down. That sounded great.
Oh man, oh man. But yeah, tell people where they can find and connect with you at too.
All my social medias are I am Chris Aaron, IamChrisAaron. Pretty much that's where I'm at. ChrisAaronManagement.com, MGMT.com. You can find me pretty much there and on your local television or Snapchat or I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere. I'll be in a city near you.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. I truly appreciate it. This was
Thank
so
you.
much fun.
It was. It was. We always
I
have
know
fun.
people got loads of value from you,
Yeah.
and I mean just to see the growth from where you guys started and where you are headed, and I'm always inspired by both of you guys, and
Yeah, thank you.
it's
Thank you.
just
And I'll tell Tokyo for sure.
yeah.
She's actually getting on the plane going back to LA to get on the plane in a few hours to come back to New York. She's doing a lot right now, but I'll definitely tell her about this. It was great to catch up. And
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell her about, the old interviews
I
and
know, right?
yeah, I'm gonna bring them up, good old
Oh my
reminiscing
God.
times. We'll have to all get together. We're gonna do lunch or dinner somewhere, sometime in the near
Yeah.
future.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much. Truly appreciate it. Make sure
Thank
you
you.
guys check out Chris and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.
Thank you.